Hey guys, it's Vanity Hazel back at it again with another deck profile. So, this is kind of the same deck that you guys saw before as our first deck profile actually. Thunderburst Fangs, but it's a bit different because instead of multi-attack, it's multi-roll. And trust me, this one's my favorite now. Just believe me on that. So, before I can begin the video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and donate to our Patreon. And let's begin. So as you guys know, our flag's Thunder Empire at Thunderburst Fangs. Gain a life point. Well, you start with 11 life, 7 hand cards, but only 1 gauge, but that's kind of fair with this deck. Because otherwise you would have a lot of gauge power, which kind of restricts this deck, but hey, it's worth it. And here's the first difference with the original deck profile. The Buddy, Borrow Box, the Lightning. So, you know from the extra chest if you bought it, he is 9k power, 5k defense with a critical of 2. Put a Thunder Empire card on your field into a soul and pay 1 gauge, so that can include the item or items. If you're 4 life or less, he gets +1 crit. And Overturn can only be used once per game. Pay a gauge, pay a life at the beginning of your attack phase. Destroy everything on your opponent's field and deal damage equal to the number of cards destroyed. Overturn cannot be countered, so they have to basically take that, and it has double attack and soul guard. So it's kind of like that Dragon Force I showed you guys in my Sun Dragon video, which I will also be upgrading soon. Which was on Link Attack with the Sun Dragon, nuke all your opponent's monsters, deal damage equal to the cards nuke. This is the same, but you basically but you don't have to waste attacks and possibly lift them. Really good. He's our buddy. So, now for the monsters. Rerun. More 5 size 2, so same as last time, but one of them's different, and we knock one of them down to 2. First one, Storm Summoning Fool. 2/1/2. Pay a life to call him, which gets you closer to Borrow Bots, and a lot of other stuff does that too, and I'll tell you why later. During your opponent's turn, choose a size 1 or less monster on their field. Bounce Fool and the size 1 or less monster on the field to the hand. Really good, so it can and since it's a counter, if your opponent were to attack you, you go pay a life, bounce it, bounce the monster that attacked. So it makes an attack with or reduces the amount of attacks in a turn. Really good. Run them at 2 or 3. I run them at 2. Next up is Replenish Heptar. 3/1/1, size 0. When he enters the field, if you have a Thunder Emperor item equipped, you gain a gauge. Really useful because once again this deck has a gauge problem, and I think this is the only card I own besides another one that I only have 3 or 4 cards in the deck that actually charge gauge, so that's actually very helpful. But don't run them at more than 2 because there's a bunch of better cards, and here's why I knocked him down to 2. Undying Wise King, count on 4/1/1. So by now you guys probably realize that this is Omni Lord plus Thunder Empire, and yes, you can use Omni Lords since Omni Lords can be used in all worlds. And that's what helps me with the multi attack and why I knocked Heptar down to 1, because he is at the beginning of each player's battle phase, call from your drop zone by paying a life point, and when another monster in your field will be destroyed, destroy him instead. What I love about this is that I run a certain card where every single time you take damage, destroy something, you gain a life, not once per turn. So Fool and this boy help. There are a bunch of other cards that cost life too, just so I can spam that. And this deck has such a draw engine, even though I only have that card at 1, I could probably see it really quickly. Actually, I haven't gone a game where I haven't seen it or my Omni Lord item, which you guys probably know by now what it is, because I said that. So, yeah, run them at 1, because you can only run them at 1 in this deck. That's it for size 0s. Now on to our size 1s. Wow, we have 6 size 1s. I didn't know that. Our first one, Blood Drain Dragon Fangs. When this card attacks or destroys a monster, put top card deck engage and gain a life. Now this is at 1 because even if I had more, it doesn't work in this deck since it's not multi-attack, so you can only basically gain 1 gauge or 1 life per turn, which I guess is fine in this deck because you do need gauge, and life is kind of important, but not that important. I would say put it at 2, but I only own 1, so yeah. No more than 2 in this deck. Next up is Veteran Replenisher Pentar. 2k power, 1k defense, critical of 2. If you have a Thunder Empire monster on your field, all Thunder Empire monsters on your field cannot be raised by opponent's card effects. And when this card attacks, if you have 2 more different one names and drop, gain a life point, then after 3 more you draw 1. So that's why the Omni Lords are here. They help get more stuff in drops, so you can get more gauge. So you can get more hand cards and more life. Problem is, I won every game that I played with this deck, which is like 5. No, I've played 10 games with this deck and I've never lost any, but I've almost decked out in all of them. So, yeah. Change some of the variants around if you guys see if it's more of a deck out engine. Next up is Arcane Knight Brontos. 2k power, 1k defense, critical 2. If you have an item equipped, his attack cannot be nullified, he's attacking alone, and if he's in your hand, choosing that one, you're going to pay a gauge, discard him, that item's attack cannot be nullified if it's attacking alone for the whole turn. So, pretty useful. Still run him at 2. Yeah. He's not that good, but he is good. Finally, an unexpected helper, Takasuke. Along with this, because it acts as an item, along with my other items, along with the size 2 that acts like an item, I'm running 7 items. So, 4k power, 2k defense, critical 1. When it attacks, pay a gauge, and guess if your opponent has a monster or spell in their hand. If you guessed right, it's +1 crit and double attack, and it costs a gauge to equip, so really cool. Still run at 2, because you don't want to see him too much as he's clunky, and I prefer the size 2 item over this guy, and the size 2 item is really broken. Okay, so that was it for our size 1s. Now on to our size 2s, which we have a lot of. So our first one is Morning Star Radiant Lord Variable Chord. 7k power, 2k defense, critical of 3. Put any number of your hand cards into his soul, pay 2 gauge. He's on there, by the way. At the beginning of each player's battle phase, put up to 1 card from your drop zone into his soul. Then if he has 3 more soul for this turn, he gets penetrating, double attack, move, and obviously soul guard. So, what I love about this guy is that he can work with this deck's item equipping because of move, and he also gets more attacks and more piercing damage, which is awesome. He's really good. Run him in every Omni Lord deck, but he works best in the version where you just draw a bunch to get out soul faster. Next up is Saint Holy Sword Thunder Edge, 6k power, 1k defense, critical of 2. Pay a life and put the top card of your deck into a soul to call him. If you have a monster with boss on its card name on your field, his size is reduced by 2, so he's a size 0. And when he attacks, if you have 3 or more different one names in drop or 4 less life, he gets penetrate and double attack with move and soul guard. So everything in this deck helps get to 4 less life, or basically that cost to different war names. And in fact, yesterday I had a game where I got 4 different war names in my drop on my first turn, which was really funny. So yeah, run them at 2 or 3. I wouldn't run them at that. I don't run them at 4. Next up is Unwavering Shadow Lord Makuru. So he's the other thing that acts as an item. 6k power, 5k defense, critical of 2. Pay 1 gauge to call, pay 1 gauge to equip him. So at the beginning of each player's battle phase, call up to 1 Omni Lord or Dark Hero monster from your hand by paying its call cost, and it's treated as a size 0 to release a field, and this thing has double attack. I've had games where I've had Mugen Drum. I'll tell you what he does later because he's up next. Variable Chord, and they're both size 2s, and then a bot's on my field. No, I had a size 3, Variable Chord, and Mugen Drum on my field, which means that's a total size of 7 on my field because Makuru turned Mugen Drum and Variable Chord into size 0s. Really good card. Next up is... He also good for attack too. Next up is 5th Omni Super Dragon Sky Emperor Mugen Drum, my favorite card in this deck. 7k power, 6k defense, critical of 2, size 2. Omni Lord. It can't be called to the center. And its call cost is pit top card of your deck into its soul and pay 2 gauge. When you take damage, destroy a monster on the opponent's field, gain a life, not once per turn, with double attack. See, countdown is basically, you're basically calling countdown for free and destroying something. Really cool. And it's not once per turn, so if you're playing like Thunder Mine and countdown's a size 0, you could go take a damage, destroy something, gain it back that life. Take a damage, destroy something, gain back that life. Really cool. Run them at 4 in a Dragon War deck. Run them at 4 in a Dragon War deck. So, Sovereign War, Dragon Lord, bots the Infinity, 13k power, 6k defense, critical of 2, pay 2 gauge to call. During your turn, he can't be destroyed, and when he attacks, if you have 3 more different war names and drop, he gets triple attack, 5 or more, destroy up to 1 monster in the opponent's field, 7 or more, deal 2 damage with penetrate. I've played against an Thor player who did not have a Thor that nullifies effect damage. They just had a knockoff a Thor which doesn't nullify effect damage. I was playing against a Thor player and I pulled off all 3 skills and I did 12 damage in 1 turn and brought them down to 1 life and finished them with the impact. This thing alone killed my opponent, which is really cool. Run him at 4, I run him at 1 because I only own 1. Lone Wing of Thunder, Thunder Halber. Pay a gauge, pay a life. When he moves to the center, draw 1. He obviously has move now. 6k power, 6k defense, critical of 2. Really good for a wall and just really good for a draw engine. I wouldn't run him more than 3. I run him at 2. Our last size 2, Borrow Bots of Lightning. But, well, you know what he does. I don't even need to tell you guys. About to tell you guys again. Now we're to our size 3, so I'm excited about the most. Dual Arc DD Dragon Lord, Dual Seeker. 8k power, 8k defense, critical of 2. Put any number of monsters on your field into his soul and pay 2 gauge. When he attacks, put top 2 cards of your deck into your drop zone and gain a gauge. He has double attack and soul guard, by the way. He has a lifelink of 2, and when he's destroyed, call a card from your hand by paying its call cost. What I love about this is that you don't have to put cards into his soul. But what I hate about this is that lifelink, but you can get out so much more plays because of the thing, and he gives you a lot of gauge, and he gets you the resources that you need to mill stuff, so always run that boy. Next up, our Crystal Dragon Thora. Put top card of your deck into a soul and pay 2 gauge to call, 5k power, 5k defense, critical of 2. Our Prism Dragon and Thunder Empire cards in your field cannot be destroyed by card effects from your opponent. And this card gets plus 1k power and defense for each different one name on your field, and he has move, double attack, and soul guard. Really cool for a wall, and combine that with Macro, you can have 1, 2, 3, 4 different war names on your field. No, 5 different war names on your field, so this guy can become a 10-2-10 on his own with double attack and soul guard and move, which is really cool. Run him. I would say no more than 2 in this deck. Now finally, my favorite one of all, Sverus, DD Lord, Grandes, 12k power, 7k defense, critical of 4. Omni Lord, pay 5 gauge to call, but when he enters the field, he gets 4 soul, move, penetrate, double attack, soul guard, and lifelink of 4. I don't give a care because of how the game works with lifelink. If you call this guy as a size 0 or drum as a size 0 and you have both of them on the field, when this guy were to die, you would deal 4, no, you would kill 4 monsters on the opponent's field because you're getting back 1 life for each lifelink damage, which is why I love Mugen Drum and why I love this boy. Amazing. I love this guy so much. I love what he does with Drum. So, that was all of our monsters. I hope you guys enjoyed this part. Next up will be the spells, items, and impacts. So, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and donate to our Patreon. And just don't forget to check us out.